Yo, what's happening everybody, King GBL here, and welcome back to some Go Battle League. Today I'm going to be showcasing a very fun team in the Ultra Premier, featuring buffed Cetitan. This season, this Pokemon got Powder Snow, which allows this Pokemon to spam Body Slams and get to the avalanches super quick. Cetitan is surprisingly bulky as well, and I was honestly destroying teams with this in the Ultra Premier. In my first set with this team I went 5-0, I had a 4-1 and a 3-2. Super surprising, I was not expecting it to do so well. As you can see here, we have Walrein on the safe swap, we have Trevenant in the lead. Basically I'm pairing Trevenant and Walrein as sort of like an ABB pairing, a very common line. Of course Trevenant was also buffed this season with Seed Bomb. Basically the Seed Bomb damage went up by 5, it's the same amount of energy, it's still 665 for Seed Bomb. However, one notable difference is, if you land a Seed Bomb on something like a Lantern in the Great League, you can now farm it down, whereas to do that before, you had to go for Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball, even though it's a neutral move, was doing more damage than a super effective Seed Bomb. So now finally, Seed Bomb is a good move, and we can look to use Trevenant a little bit better than before. It's not a crazy update, but it's definitely a very welcome one for Trevenant. So yeah, we have Trevenant, double ice in the Ultra League. Very fun team. I'm not sure if I would recommend this team for climbing necessarily, but I want you guys to check out Cetitan. We tank the Earthquake like it's absolutely nothing, still make it to the Body Slam. The pacing in this Pokemon is so much better now. And with this Pokemon having a pretty decent moveset of Avalanche and Body Slam, Powder Snow, which is a very good fast move, it's basically a Wing Attack clone, a Powder Snow. The opponent comes back into Trevenant. I was very lucky to win this match because all the opponent had to do was basically no-shield the Swampert, but they do allow us to take out the Swampert and the Trevenant with the Shadow Ball and of course the Shadow Claws. And in the next match, we get a pretty terrible lead for Trevenant. We can get an energy lead later on and potentially do some damage. And the opponent comes into, I think, a Jellicent here. This is going to be a bit of a long match. If the opponent does not go straight for Shadow Ball, we will live 2 moves off them and get off probably 2 Earthquakes. The opponent here on the first time around goes straight for Shadow Ball. Walrein is so bulky, I'm not going to shield that first move, and we're going to go straight for the Earthquake. Now surprisingly, the opponent shields up the first move, probably thinking that I'm not going to be at the first move, which definitely does make sense. On bad timing, I get off the Earthquake. I just want to get some damage on this Pokemon, try to farm it down with Trevenant, and basically look to sweep with Cetitan up a shield. We're definitely going to need shields for the Blast Burns. The opponent goes for a Surf here, allowing us to go for another Icicle Spear. They have to throw another move, and at this point, we're in a very good position here. The opponent goes for a Surf, I come in with Cetitan, and I'm going to go for a massive farm down. This is a resisted farm down. I think the opponent will full send the ball. They do full send the ball, and we're going to look to commit to this farm down. At this point, I'm going to no-shield a move. I have to keep 1 shield for the Blast Burn, and we're going to commit to the farm down. The opponent comes into Swampert, we come into Trevenant. Now we have the alignment we want. We've got basically 2 Avalanches banked. We can look to tank a Hydro Cannon. We can even look to tank another one. I basically want to threaten a move on the Charizard when it comes back in. I cannot afford to take another Hydro Cannon, so I do need to throw this move pretty soon. I could have overfarmed by an extra couple. I was live streaming these battles, so my counting was a little bit off point. I commit to the move, however we do have 2 Avalanches banked. Now I'm thinking here the opponent's on something like 9 Wing Attacks, 8 or 9 Wing Attacks. I can look to just go straight for these 2 moves. No messing around. Avalanche doesn't quite take them out. We commit to the farm down on the Jelly. We're going to commit to the farm down on the Charizard. They will get off a dying move here, which is fortunately only a Dragon Claw. But you're seeing that Cetitan has got very respectable bulk. The game is lagging. I'm panicking. I'm tapping my screen as hard as I can. And we do take the win in that very tricky match. Before we hop into the rest of the battles, thank you everybody for the support on the video. It's been super appreciated as we're letting a free Incinerate go through here. Anyway guys, welcome back to the channel. Drop a like in the video. Let me know your thoughts on this season so far. And what is your favourite Pokemon that's been buffed this season so far? Do let me know in the comments down below. The opponent goes for Shadow Ball. I'm happy enough to take it, realizing that unless they double Shadow Ball, they're not going to take me out, and I can basically look to go for an Earthquake here. I go for a 1-and-throw, just to make sure I don't take the extra Incinerate damage. Boom, that'll take out the Skeledirge, and in comes Poliwrath. Now, Poliwrath up energy against Trevenant is very, very tricky. They can basically outpace me to Icy Winds. I can live one, but the second one, of course, will look to take me out. They can't really counter me down, they have to land both moves, but of course taking Icy Winds from Poly is not great. Now, we're in a tricky position where, if I let this go, Cetitan is going to take so much damage, so I'm basically forced to shield. In comes the Ampharos and in comes Cetitan. I'm going to overfarm here as much as I possibly can. You're about to see once again, Ampharos, quite an attack-weighted Pokemon. Those Thunder Punches are not really doing too much damage. By the way guys, this Cetitan is a rank 1, and you're going to see some matches later on where having the rank 1 really benefited me a lot. Pretty much what I'm going to look to do here is overfarm as much as possible, take the Thunder Punch. I'm going to do free and throw here on the Body Slam, and try my absolute best to get to another one. I go for an undercharge, hoping that, the opponent actually shields it and allows me to farm them down, so the opponent basically just guaranteed that I get the win there. Good games, and Cetitan just putting in a lot of work. Like I said, with Body Slam, with Avalanche, and with those being pretty decent moves, this Pokemon having decent bulk. Getting the move update with Powder Snow is really helping this Pokemon. Now in the next match we have an absolutely horrible lead. I'm going to stay in here. This team is ABA weak to fire, so I kind of have to stay in for a minute, try to grab the opponent's shield. We do successfully do so. I go for a 2-in catch. I think the opponent was going to commit to the farm down, or at least build up to 5 before throwing. I'm going to have to take the Shadow Ball on the chin. Maybe I could have shielded up the first one, and what I decide to do here is just get off some guaranteed damage, right? This is a resisted move, however Skeledirge is pretty glassy. I just want to get rid of this Pokemon. Once again, the opponent has to go for Shadow Ball, they do go for it, and I mean, at the very least, we're going to look to get rid of the Skeledirge. Now at this point guys, Cetitan has got so much work to do. I have to let this move go. We've got 2 shields, the opponent's got 1. We get an energy lead with Cetitan and we farm it down. What does the opponent come into? They come into a Venusaur. We're going to go straight for the Avalanche. Now ladies and gents, will an Avalanche one-shot the Venusaur? Unfortunately not the non-shadow, they live it on 1 HP. We're going to look to shield up this move of course, and I'm hoping and praying it's something good in the back. The opponent comes into a Haxorus. We can actually win this game here. I don't even have to go for the big move here. Haxorus is super glassy, they're on Dragon Tail as well, so they're not doing super effective damage. I'm going to go straight for this move. I'm not going to allow the opponent a chance to double up here, because that's going to put them into Powder Snow down range. Even if the opponent wanted to throw a move, I would have got the second Powder Snow through, and it would have been good games anyway. Now in the next match we have a Galvantula lead. Whenever I see Spider lead, I automatically assume it's going to be Mandibuzz and it's going to be Jellicent in the back. So pretty much what I need to do in this match is draw out the Jellicent for my Trevenant to take care of here. I'm going to build up to as much as possible. It's straight free Volt Switches for these. So I build up here, I swap into Walrein, which definitely is a weird swap. The reason I come into Walrein here is because it's so bulky. The opponent probably goes for lunges anyway, we can easily tank a move, and we actually do draw the Jellicent out. We're basically trying to draw out Jelly with Walrein here. Jellicent has a good matchup here, they resist all of the fast moves, they've debuffed us here, but basically we're trying to get this into a range where Trevenant can Shadow Claw down, get off a Seed Bomb, whatever the case may be, and look to try and deal with it. At the very least, if I can get this low, come in with Trevenant, look to force the energy, and then come in with Cetitan, I can get a huge energy lead and look to win the game that way. Now I decide to call a Surf here, the opponent's at a bunch of hexes here, they go for a CMP tie on this next move. This Seed Bomb will take them out. We'll see what the opponent wants to do. They do let it go, and it is Cetitan time. Back in comes Cetitan against the Galvantula. Now because I know it's going to be Mandibuzz in the back, I decide to shield up these moves. Even though these moves are just debuffs, right, they're probably going to do more damage than a Dark Pulse, and the opponent's actually staying into shield. So my thinking that it's Mandibuzz in the back is looking to be very true here. The opponent gets off another lunge, and then they come into the Mandibuzz. We're going to look to fire 4 and throw for good timing here, and basically look to try to escape out of this matchup. These avalanches not really adding up too much, but even though I'm double debuffed, that still does an absolute ton of damage. So what I'm going to do is try and catch the move here. I'm going to do free and swap. I've banged over an avalanche of damage here, or of energy, sorry. We're going to go straight for the avalanche, and you guys seen that the debuffed twice avalanche done like 30%. That will take them out from here. We can 1 and throw on the Galvantula, and that's basically good games. So once again, Cetitan just sweeping another team. Cetitan just has so much damage output, it has very respectable bulk, and has a very decent moveset, and we actually go 5-0 in the first set here. In the next battle here, we have a pretty tricky lead. The opponent comes into a Poliwrath here, so we're pretty much getting RPS so far. We'll see if I can do anything. The opponent goes straight up to 8 here, and the opponent actually throws the Scald, which is good for me here. That means that I may be able to threaten another Earthquake. We'll see here. I think it's very, very close. I think the opponent actually just farms me down just about, so I have to settle for the Icicle Spear. I'm pretty much hoping the opponent's off track with energy. They do count perfectly here. They let the Icicle Spear go, and I pretty much am committed to sweeping with Cetitan at this point. I can definitely take a move, however the opponent will most likely make it to 2, so I guess I will try to shield once farm it the whole way down, or I'm actually going to let the Trevenant go and look to try and sweep with Cetitan. This is going to be very, very tricky. This game has been very RPS so far. In comes Gliscor and in comes a Charmer in the back. This is very tricky. I go for Body Slam first time round, and I make a bit of a mistake here. On the second time round, I false in the Avalanche. The opponent's definitely going to shield this move, so I should have went for either Avalanche first, or just went straight Body Slam. But you're seeing here that we're living these charms super well. The game is lagging, the opponent gets a free charm, which is definitely not going to help anything. And yeah, we're basically fucked here at this point. We're going to get off a last second Body Slam, it's not going to knock out. Had I went for the Avalanche first time round, this might have been a little bit better, but I don't think I was going to make it for the Sylveon, unfortunately. In the next match we have a horrible lead, Talonflame. I come straight into Walrein. Walrein's basically my only answer to this Pokemon. I throw this move off on 6, which is good timing whenever you're doing a 1-turn swap, and we actually land the Icicle Spear. Super happy with that. Similar to Skeledirge, we're happy to get any damage on this Pokemon that we can get. The opponent comes into a Gradient, and I'm going to look to fire off this move straight away. I'm pretty much thinking here, the opponent misaligned the clock quite a lot, and my switch clock is coming back. I'm just dead with Trevenant here. My Trevenant's no match. I need to keep my Walrein alive. So what I'm going to do is take a Body Slam here and basically look to insta-swap into Trevenant, hopefully catching another Body Slam here. We're going to attempt to go for a catch just before I reach the move. The opponent is Froed here, and I do believe I catch the Body Slam right here. Now, I'm going to overfarm as much as possible. I can take a crunch, and if I can overfarm, it's going to make it very difficult for Talonflame to come back in here, because as you can see, the opponent's forced to further energy basically straight away, so I don't get to a Shadow Ball, and we can come back in with the Walrein. We to and fro for good timing on the Icicle Spear, and this is going to basically force a shield, or look to knock out the Talonflame. Now the opponent goes for a huge overfarm. I do 4 and fro once again for good timing. We do not take the Incinerate, and we can actually look to maybe take out the Talonflame. I think the opponent's going to make it to 2 moves. I shield up anyway. I'm going to go for a 2 and fro. We actually do get rid of the Talonflame. Now, can we actually sweep this match? We've gotten rid of the Talonflame, the gradient is super low, and the opponent comes into a Shadow Venusaur. We're going to outpace this to the Avalanche. This does not one-shot the non-Shadow, but it will one-shot the Shadow. Back in comes Gradient again, and once again, you're going to see that this thing has got very respectable bulk. 1 Body Slam, not going to KO here, bang, we live it very comfortably, get off a Body Slam, and the opponent concedes the match. Good games well played. Cetitan once again just sweeping backlines. Cetitan is not what you would call a hardcore meta pick, but it definitely has a lot of use and it's a very interesting Pokemon. The opponent comes into a Galvantulum. What I decide to do here is arguably a mistake. I probably should just come straight into Cetitan, but I decide I'm going to come into Walrein here, just because I want to be able to keep my Cetitan for whatever's in the back. I'm trying to make a video on this Pokemon here basically, and I know Walrein can tank the moves pretty comfortably. If I can get a shield advantage here, I think Cetitan and Trevenant should probably be fine. Now, because the opponent for a move here, I can just 1 and fro the next move. So I can basically get 2 shields down and look to sweep with Cetitan and Trevenant. That's the plan here. We're going to get off this move. We're going to get the Galvantula super low here. I think I come in with Trevenant just to take the move. And I think I'm going to go for an energy lead with Cetitan here. Trevenant comes in, gets a Shadow Claw through. And with Cetitan, hopefully we can get 1 or 2 Powder Snows here. We go straight for the swap. We get in 2 Powder Snows. Very juicy energy lead. And of course the opponent will come back in with Stunfisk. Now at this point, I'm very curious what a neutral Avalanche will do to a Stunfisk. If this does roughly half, we should be fine. I play to a CMP tie here on the Stunfisk, we of course win it. Bang, it does about 35, close to 40%. We'll take 1 Rock Slide and then probably look to shield the next one. We take the Rock Slide very comfortably. I'm going to look to go for an Overfarm. I knew the move was not going to knock out, so I decided here, okay, we'll go for an Overfarm. I'm going to go for 4 and fro here, because I still don't think this move knocks out. And I think I might try to go for a catch and Trevenant here. We go for the swap, but the opponent goes straight for a Rock Slide, and we're going to see what they want to do here. We do take that Rock Slide, and the opponent comes into a Wigglytuff in the back. Unfortunately, we don't make it to the move. We do 1 and 4 for good timing on the Cetitan, but this is looking very tricky. Although, we are going to look to basically 2-shot this. Can we still win this match? There's absolutely no way. We're going to 2-shot this here. Bang, goodbye Wigglytuff, and this is going to come down to a farm down race. We actually win it on 1 HP. I have a rank 1 Cetitan, and in that situation that worked out just absolutely perfectly for me. Had that not been a rank 1, I would have lost that match. Now, in comes Ampharos here. I'm going to go straight for the Icicle Spear bait. I can easily tank a Thunder Punch, and then I can basically look to go for an Earthquake right after. So we'll see what the opponent wants to do here. Because this is non-Shadow, it's nowhere near scary. We're going to commit to the Earthquake. The opponent's committing to the farm down. This will look to absolutely take out the Ampharos. The opponent will have to go down 2 shields. They do not want to, and they're going to come in with a farm down with the, I think it was it a Poliwrath? Or sorry, a Goodra lead. Back in comes Goodra, in comes Cetitan, and this is time to start cooking. I decided to respect this move. I probably could have let this one go, but I decided I'm going to keep some health, just in case it's a Power Whip. I'm going to build up to 2. I'm not going to mess around. I can take 1 Aqua Tail, no problem. I'm going to build up to 2 moves, go for a double Avalanche. Not messing about. Avalanche, of course, will look to one-shot the Goodra, and we'll see what the opponent has in the back. They come in with a Skeledirge. Oh no. This is not good. This is absolutely not good. We're going to 4 and fro here for good timing. And yeah, I just don't think there's any way I can win this match, unfortunately. Skeledirge is just going to Shadow Ball my Trevenant. So my only win con at this point is to call the bait and basically commit to the farm down. Like an absolute potato, the opponent is a silly sausage. They go for the bait. Absolutely unnecessary. Good games well played. We farm it the whole way down. And let's hop into the next battle. So in the next battle, we have a very tricky lead in Dragonite. I could stay in to go for a chip, but I decided to go straight in here. The opponent comes into a Swampert, which is not really a good answer to Walrein. We can basically outspam this Pokemon. We can live an Earthquake very comfortably. You're going to see here that this opponent is an even sillier sausage. They're going to go for the Hydro Cannon bait on Walrein. That is just craziness. Even a Shadow Swampert, I would be probably inclined to no shield there. And you know the funny thing is, we're not even in Earthquake range. Going for 1 Hydro Cannon and then going for Earthquake is not going to cut it here, unless you're Shadow. The opponent comes into a Togekiss. Dragonite lead, Togekiss in the back. You guys know what's about to happen here. First off, we're going to bring in Trevenant. The opponent comes into Dragonite, and we're just going to go for a huge farm down with Cetitan. We're going to absolutely farm this thing down to the ground. And Cetitan here is taking no prisoners. We're farming this down, shielding any move they want to throw. And basically, you guys can see what's coming. 1-and-throw avalanche, bang. This is going to do an absolute ton of damage if it goes through. The opponent, of course, is going to shield it, but it's going to be in vain. We make it to the next one. And this one avalanche actually is going to completely take out the Togekiss. Bang, goodbye, get off my screen. That's what you get for running Togekiss. And in the next battle, once again, we do have another Dragonite lead. Now, if I remember correctly, the algorithm sent their absolute best agents after me in this battle here. We have, I think, double fire on this team. So this is going to be extremely difficult to beat. I go for an Icicle Spear bait. I can let a move go. I think the opponent wisely here goes straight for a Shadow Ball here. We go for a 2-and-throw on the Earthquake. I thought this move would definitely KO the Skeledirge. However, the opponent does not seem to think so. They just let the move go. And this is pretty much worst case scenario. We can come into Trevenant. They're definitely going to go for Shadow Ball, so there's kind of no reason not to shield. But I'm sort of thinking, like, maybe I could go for a sweep with the other thing. I just decide to Shadow Claw down. And yeah, they come in with Typhlosion. Like I said, the algorithm sent their best agents after me in this one. There's no winning this match, unfortunately. This thing is just going to absolutely cook my team. You know, speaking of silly sausage, I used my last Elite TM on Magma Storm last season. I could have been using Typhlosion this season, but like an absolute clown, I decided to do that instead. Magma Storm, by the way, if you guys are thinking about TMing it on, it's very, very underwhelming in Great League. So yeah, it is what it is. Blast Burn coming in, gonna one-shot the Cetitan. In comes Trevenant, in comes the Dragonite. I'm wasting time here. This is absolute curtains for me, and yeah, good games to that opponent. They had Dragonite double fire. I'm using a grass lead. They're using a flying dragon. I've got 2 ice types in the back. They've got 2 fire types in the back. I don't think I can really beat that team. Hopping into the next one though, we have a more manageable lead. We have Poliwrath. As you guys seen though, this gets very tricky. We come into Walrein here. I'm not going to mess about. Muck is fairly bulky. They can take Icicle Spears for days here. I can easily take a Dark Pulse. So what I'm going to look to do here is farm up to 1 before the next Dark Pulse. And unfortunately, because Poison Jabs are adding up so much, I will be forced to shield a move. Muck took that Earthquake like it was nothing. They will go for a Dark Pulse. I have to shield it, unfortunately, and we can look to farm down. Poliwrath up a shield does super well into Trevenant. We're going to go for an Earthquake. This will get a decent amount of damage for him, but this is looking very difficult here, because the opponent can basically force a shield off me straight away. I cannot force a shield right away off them. They go for Icy Wind, of course debuffing my attack. They can live a Seed Bomb from here, and they swap into a Dragalge! Do we have a chance here? I thought it was going to be double Dark Poison. It turns out to be a dragon in the back. They go straight for Aqua Tail, not threatening the big move. If the opponent threatened the Outrage, I might have had to shield. I can take 2 Aqua Tails here, absolutely no problem whatsoever. Aqua Tail coming in, I'm going to 1-and-throw the Avalanche. I'm at 100 energy, which is going to allow me to get off a move on the Poliwrath. Bang, that takes them out. We go straight for the, the Body Slam here. The opponent, of course, will see if their shields for the Trevenant. We're going to come in here, and I basically have to commit to a farm down. Will the opponent make it to 2 moves? This is going to be getting very, very close. At this point in the stream, I was not counting. Will the opponent make it to 2 moves? They die with the move here. I went for a CMP at the end because they were on 1 HP, and that would have knocked them out. But good games. Once again, guys, we have another Dragonite lead. We're seeing so many Dragonites. The opponent actually meets my safe swap with a Feraligatr. This is non-shadow, and they go straight for Hydro Cannon. This is perfect for me. I'm going to go for an Earthquake right away. I'm not going to mess about here. I overfarm 2 just before they reach the move. The thing about Feraligatr though is it's just so spammy. It's so spammy. They can easily take an Earthquake. They're very close to 2 moves here already, so they can go straight Hydro Cannon in this matchup. It's very, very decent for them. Walrein with the resisted Powder Snows just doesn't do quite enough. I thought the opponent would be forced to throw, but unfortunately they farm me the whole way down, and we're in just such a tricky spot here. I thought like the opponent's definitely an Ice Beam here, so like I'm pretty much sacrificing the Trevenant at this point. However, the opponent goes for a Hydro Cannon the first time around, so I'm thinking like this is definitely an Ice Beam. Opponents absolutely love doing that these days, I've noticed. Like whenever you come back in with your Pokemon, be it the first move and then go for the second move. People are very greedy when it comes to their moves now. They don't just throw the nuke. We throw a nuke on the Dragonite, and we're going to look to try and sweep with the Cetitan here. Because I know shielded the move, I think the opponent full sent this time, and in comes a Charizard in the back. Can we one-shot this with Avalanche? I'm lagging. This is not good. I'm still lagging. I don't get an excellent throw, and that does not put them into farm down range. However, we do go for a Body Slam straight away. This Pokemon spamminess really coming in clutch. In comes Dragonite. We're going to look to farm this the whole way down, and that's going to be good games. So definitely quite fortunate the opponent was not quite on track with energy, and in the next match we get a very good lead. Now all 3 of our Pokemon can do very good damage to this. My back Pokemon do super effective to it. However, I know I win CMP. This is a very dominant matchup for Trevenant. and the opponent's staying in here, which means that they're ABI weak to it. However, I can just get a nasty farm down here, getting 5 Shadow Claws, and we'll see what the opponent comes into. Now, I just go for a Shadow Ball here. I basically want to get my shield back, and I'm actually going to go into my hard answer, or sorry, I'm going to go into Walrein this time again, because again, we can tack a Thunder Punch. It's non-shadow, we don't have to worry about it. The opponent goes for a Thunder Punch. As you can see, easy lives here. Now, because the opponent's staying in here, I know it's not going to be Annihilate in the back, so I'm thinking it's Swampert at this point. Walrein can do very decently into Swampert, and I'm thinking the opponent basically has to save a shield if it is Swampert. Bang, they let that move go, and in comes Swampert. We go for the Icicle Spear, and this is basically game over for them. I'm going to try to make it to another Icicle Spear. The opponent will be forced to throw Hydro Cannon. They cannot farm me down here. Walrein's just too thick, it's just far too thick for that. Hydro Cannon coming in that will knock us out. The opponent's one away from the next move. They go for the Hydro Cannon immediately, and at this point, guys, with the new Powder Snow, we can just outspam the Swampert. And you're going to see here once again that the opponent's going to full send an Earthquake. I am not one bit worried about this move. I'm going to let this go. Earthquake coming in, just about 60%. We'll make it to 2 Body Slams, and that's going to be curtains for them. Good games well played. The opponent shields it up, but we're already at 2 moves. Good games well played. Cetitan, very interesting Pokemon. It has quite a difficult typing, because of course it's very weak to fire, very weak to counter, and yeah, of course weak to steel as well. Having something like a Walrein with the water typing really helps that Pokemon out quite a lot. But Cetitan has a fantastic moveset. Powder Snow is a huge upgrade for it. It's got very respectable bulk, and this Pokemon was super fun to use in Ultra Premier. Thank you very much, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like, subscribe. Let me know what your favorite move update is from this season, and thank you very much, everybody, for the support in the videos. Most importantly, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for a new stream and a brand new video.